Repetition, 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 repetition. Slowly but surely, you can reprogram your mind through repetition.
Wolftelligence!
Welcome back to the podcast. My name is R.E. In this episode, reprogramming your mind through repetition. We do everything through repetition. I know this might seem very obvious, but it's not obvious enough to some people because they don't utilize this one very important tip or trick. It's not even a secret. How you do anything, how you build habits is through repetition. If you want to start meditating every day, it's going to become a lot easier when you do it every day. If you want to become more in shape, what are you going to do? You're going to repeat the same actions. You're going to run every day. You're going to lift weights every day, do sit-ups, do planks, things like that. Get better at meditation through repetition. You can learn anything through repetition. How do you learn anything for studying for a test on school? You go repetition. You do more problems. You repeat studying in the textbook. How are you going to learn how to play a sport to get better at a sport? How are you going to get better at shooting free throws in basketball? How are you going to get better at riding a bike? You're going to repeat. You're going to fail. You're going to learn from your mistakes. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Learning a new language. You're going to learn a new language through repetition. And I know this seems very simple, but this is the way that I reprogram my mind through magical melodies, through planting seeds of love in my mind's garden. It was a very tedious process. It took a lot of effort, but just sitting there, thinking about loving yourself, thinking about planting seeds in your mental garden really makes a difference. But sitting there and meditating for 5 minutes and thinking about planting seeds of love in your mental garden, it's going to do a little, but it's not going to do as much as if you do that for 5 minutes every single day for 365 days in a row. It starts to add up. It starts to accumulate. Sorry, wrong word there. And it really just shows patience, consistency, that you're putting in the effort. And the more you repeat, the more you practice repetition in whatever it is, the more it's going to start to sink into your subconscious mind, where it's going to become automatic. Where this planting seeds of love in your mind, you're doing it every day. Your mind's like, oh, I recognize what this is. This is like a part of me now. This heavenly garden in my mind with all these beautiful loving flowers and trees and plants and everything. I know this isn't the most exciting thing to talk about. It's not like a magic pill. It's not going to go right away, but it works. It absolutely gets the job done, at least from my opinion, from my perspective, from my journey. I know that my mind used to be extremely negative, and it took me a lot of repetition and time to reprogram it. And what type of thoughts get repeated through your mind every day? Are they negative or positive thoughts? Definitely take stock. And like it or not, but any thoughts that are looping through your mind every day, whether it's just a song you can't get stuck out of your head or just a very negative thought loop, that's reprogramming your mind. And it's probably not reprogramming your mind in the way that you want. So it may take a while to reprogram your mind. It may take a lot of effort, patience, consistency, and repetition. And you might not see or feel the results right away, but don't let that get you discouraged. Are you going to quit? Or are you going to keep going through repetition, 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 repetition? Repetition is so important. I will never stop talking about that because I still do this to this day, but it's become a lot easier for me now because I've been repeating this every single day for 3 years. The meditation, cold showers, self-love, planting seeds of love in my mind's garden. And I invite you to do the same thing and go on this journey. And all it is repetition. So huge. Say it 10 more times, 9 more times. Repetition, 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 repetition. Is that 10? I lost count.